Okay, we'll go ahead and call to order the meeting of the Regional Transportation Commission. And I'd like to point out that Larry Brown and Commissioner June Kiliani are not here today. Commissioner Brown is out of town for his daughter's college graduation, which is a wonderful thing for him to be able to do. And then Chris G is on a well-deserved vacation, so we're very pleased that that they're able to take a little bit of time. Thank you. And Ms. Quigley?
Madam Vice Chair, members of the Commission, your agenda is in order and ready for your approval with a couple changes. We are going to recommend moving item number 4, which is your first citizen participation period, to item number 2. And then we recommend deletion of agenda item number 62.
Thank you. We'll acknowledge that. After the meeting, we're calling the meeting to order, but before we go ahead with the public comment this morning, I'd like to ask that if you wish to speak on any item on an agenda today, please fill out a public comment card. They're located on the dais and out in the lobby, and a staff member will assist you in collecting the cards. And as a reminder, our first public comment period is limited to the items that are on today's agenda. And if you'd like to speak on any item that is under commission purview but not on today's agenda, we'll have a second public comment period at the end of the meeting. Thank you. Ms. Quigley?
So with that, your agenda is in order.
Okay, we'll go ahead and open the first public comment period.
Okay.
Is there anyone wishing to speak? Seeing no one, we'll go ahead and close the first public comment.
All right, your agenda is in order and ready for your approval with those 2 exceptions.
So moved.
We have a motion on the floor. All those in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. And that item passes. Next item.
All right, thank you, Madam Vice Chair. Your next agenda item is to receive the General Manager's report. And our first item in the General Manager's report is to recognize the RTC Superstar of the Quarter. This quarter's superstar is relatively new to her position, but she's been at the RTC for 20 years now. She's always been a superstar, but in the short time that she's been performing her duties in her new position, it's clear that she is the perfect candidate for the job. She transitioned into her new job during a stressful time, but has displayed nothing but professionalism and positivity to everyone inside and outside of the RTC. She consistently provides accurate and timely project information and goes above and beyond the call of duty to ensure that she meets the needs of the customer. She has quickly learned the responsibilities of her position and also implemented numerous efficiencies in the process. Please join me in recognizing Ms. Chandra Summers Armstrong as our superstar. She's so cute.
Wow. Well, I should have known. Mike, you're not. Oh, I'm going to get you. Good morning, everybody. Thank you very much to the Vice Chair and the board members, and to Tina Quigley, and to the senior management at the Regional Transportation Commission. I want to tell you all thank you so much. There are a bunch of amazing and wonderful people who work at the RTC, and it is...
Baby.
It is an honor to be recognized from that group of people. I've been here 20 years, can't believe it. January 16th, 1996, I stepped into an office on the 3rd floor at 301 Clark and began the journey to work and be proud to be an employee at the RTC. I'm grateful for the wonderful privilege that I've had just to grow up and to become a better professional. Whew, wow. Oh my God, I hate this. Okay. I want to thank Mike and Fred, who have given me such room to be a better worker, a better professional, to let me spread my wings and grow and take chances on me. And I thank you. I want to thank all the members of the RTC team. Nobody can do this job alone. We're not alone in this, and we have to support one another. And I have been able to do what I can and what I do because employees of the RTC are awesome. Most of all, I want to thank my two roomies, Tamika Davis and Jennifer Lalore, for welcoming me into the Zen Zone. You guys have to come and see it. They are awesome coworkers, and they have supported me in this new role and helped me to grow and learn, and we're doing better and better every single day, and for that I'm proud. I'd like to say thank you to my husband, better known as Armstrong, Carl Armstrong, my dear, who has been with me since I came to the RTC 20 years ago, and through 22 years of marriage. And my children, who have supported me, and the reason that I have run to work many days to get away from them, but also glad that the RTC has given me a chance to provide them with an awesome life. And I thank you all for being here and for recognizing me today. Thank you so much.
Yay.
Thank you.
You know, Chandra commented that there are amazing and wonderful people that work at the RTC, and that's so true, and she's one of them, an important part of our team, so thank you.
Yes, good job, Chandra, thanks. The next item on the GM report is a mechanic recognition from our contractor, MV Transportation. We'd like to recognize Mr. Stephen Walker. Stephen, are you here? Can we have you come down? Mr. Walker has been in the collision repair profession for more than 40 years and possesses an incredible skill set. He's dedicated his life to transforming damaged or mangled metal into items of beauty. Most recently, Mr. Walker played a key role in helping to open our Mobility Training Center, which gives our special needs patrons the ability to learn the skills necessary to travel on our transit system. Thank you for all your hard work, Mr. Walker, from the RTC, and we appreciate MV. Thank you.
Certainly, thank you very much. I won't be quite as eloquent as the previous speaker, but no less appreciative of all of this. I enjoy my duty and responsibilities that I work with. Our contractor that I work for, MB, has been very helpful and supportive of all of us in the team. And I take this recognition very proudly, but I also know that it comes with the assistance of the others that we work with. To be chosen as the guy who gets to take this home is quite an flattering honor, but it doesn't just come from me alone. We all try, and everybody contributes, and we hope that we all earn it every day. So thank you so very much to all the commissioners, the RTC, and to my employer and friends at work at MV. So it's a great honor. Oh, there we go.
Thank you.
Thanks very much.
Oh, happy birthday. You know, I always love this part of our meetings because it's so important to acknowledge the good work of the folks who work to make this system work in Southern Nevada. So thank you.
So many great partners out there, yeah. For the amount of work that we do, it's we touch a lot of different lives, but it's really the partners and the contractors that we work with that do a lot of it. So
Thank you.
thank you, Madam Vice Chair, members of the Commission. Your next agenda item is item to receive the Nevada Department of Transportation Director's report. That's Rudy Malfabon.
Thank you, Tina. Just a few quick items this month. We broke ground on 2 new traffic signals on Blue Diamond Road at El Capitan and Fort Apache. This is an area of town that's getting a lot more pedestrian traffic, so we're pleased to do what we can for traffic safety and pedestrian safety. It's a $2.4 million project, and construction should be completed in early October. I also wanted to give my thanks to my deputy director down here in Southern Nevada, Tracy Larkin, who's going to be joining the Las Vegas Chamber of Commerce on their trip in early June
We love Tracy.
to go meet with our congressional delegation. I know there's a lot of important transportation issues and a lot of just business development issues, economic development issues down here in Southern Nevada, and it's good to meet with the delegation and let them know what's important to us. So I-11 will definitely be a topic of discussion during that meeting, and I know that Deborah will have quite a lot to say about all the things that are going down here with transportation and growth and economic development. I wanted to also just close with the fact that we had our workshop to solicit comments for our regulations for electronic billboards. And those digital billboards, that regulation that's proposed is going to be before the Transportation Board on June 6th. So we'll adopt that, then it goes to the legislature for formal adoption. So there's still an opportunity to provide public comment on that on June 6th before the Transportation Board meeting. Thank you.
And Rudy, with regards to the trip to DC, I think it's always good that the state and the RTC and the business community go together hand in hand to the congressional delegation and let them know what our needs are in Southern Nevada. And I think we get a great reception because we come together on that trip.
A lot of collaboration.
A lot of collaboration, yeah. Thank you. Are there any questions of, yes, Carolyn?
Just a comment to remind our chairman, or chairwoman, and Mr. Montalban about the movement of freight that the federal government's interested in to widen Barstow to Prim, because that gridlock there on the side stops a lot of tourists from coming. They don't care about the tourists in Nevada, but certainly we do, and that's an easy fix and a first fix. I-11 is a long-range project that needs to happen, but we need to widen that Barstow, I-15 Barstow to Prim. So as you go back to DC, and unfortunately I'm unable to make that trip, that you really get to our leaders to make sure we widen that, and the federal government is only interested in moving freight. And so from Southern California, that's the path. So anytime I get a chance to speak to it, you know I'm gonna do it. Thank you.
Thank you, Madam Chair, members of the commission. Your next item is your consent agenda, which is items 5 through 58 and may be taken in one motion.
On the floor, all those in favor signify by saying aye. And that motion passes. Next item.
Your next item are items 59 through 61, which will be presented to you by our Director of Finance, Mark Trosdal.
Thank you.
Thank you, Tina. Madam Vice Chair and members of the Commission, item 59 is a presentation on the budget. Then we will have a public hearing. That's item 60. Then item 61, we'll ask the RTC Board of Commissioners to approve the budget. We'll start out by looking at our revenues, our funding sources. You can see that sales tax is the largest source of revenue. And now with our fuel tax indexing is going to cap out at 10 cents in fiscal 17. That's 12% of our funding sources and does allow us to borrow more money to the tune of about $110 million we've budgeted next year. Our sales tax revenue, we are budgeting a 3.5% increase in fiscal 17 for sales tax. And motor vehicle fuel tax, we are budgeting a 3.1% increase in that revenue. And our new fuel tax indexing, we do cap out at 10 cents next year, and we're budgeting $79 million in revenue next year for that revenue. Our fixed route fare revenue, we're conservatively budgeting a 1% increase in that revenue. The next chart shows us our funding uses. You can see that capital outlay is the largest at $472 million, or 57.7% of the budget. And then contracted services, which is mostly operating for our public transit system, that is 27.7%. And then debt service is 10.2%. And salaries is maintained at just 4.4%. We'll now look at capital outlay. And this next pie chart shows that the majority of that, 79%, is for streets and highways, road construction, and 21%, or about $100 million, is for our transit system, buying buses. And to divide that up a little further, you can see that our fuel tax indexing program is budgeted at 42% of our capital program, and motor vehicle fuel tax at 28%. The sales tax, streets and highways program is 9%, and again, transit is 21% of the capital program. So for transit, roughly $99.7 million, or $100 million, that is grant funded to the tune of about $70 million. Then we look at our operating expenditures for transit. Our largest expenditure is our fixed route contracts, and we are budgeting $105 million next year for that. And that is mostly due to the addition of service hours. We are adding, again, 80,000 service hours, and our total add backs since the trough there in fiscal 2012 is 290,000 service hours. We are budgeting a 6.7% increase in our paratransit contract cost next year. And that is the conclusion of my prepared remarks. I'd be glad to answer any questions.
This is the time for public hearing on this item. Is there anyone wishing to comment on the budget for fiscal year 2017 for the RTC? Seeing no one, we'll go ahead and close the public hearing portion. Commissioners, are there any comments or questions with regard? Oh, sir, this is regarding the budget? Okay. So the public hearing is open. Please state your name.
Dennis Hennessy.
Thank you.
I have comments at the end, but when I noticed that the budget was on the agenda, one thing I did notice that was missing from that budget is I don't see anything in there for the potential of transit police or security for our drivers, all 800 of them across the city. So what that budget tells me is it's not in your minds for another year. And I'd really like to know why that is. With all the shootings that we've had recently, including the driver shooting someone, with the 2 incidents that happens with guns this week, why is there nothing in your budget for security? And again, security doesn't mean security guards that have no authority to do anything. We need transit police that have public ability to find somebody, to arrest somebody. We need some help, but my question is, why isn't that in the budget? Thank you.
Staff, can you comment just that is actually built into the transit budget?
There is. There's over $8 million budgeted for security.
Okay, thank you.
And does that include transit police?
That includes security guards, not transit police.
Well, sure.
I just wanted to say that having talked with Metro and going through some of the things happening in the city, we do have a tremendous concern right now with security. And have you evaluated if we need the transit police?
Well, this time it's...
I mean, is what we have sufficient? I'm just asking, have you evaluated that situation? No, well, I'll ask.
If we can bring back an agenda item to further explain the, maybe what we can do is present to you what the RTC has taken on and compare it to some other metropolitan transit agencies, so you can see the different approaches that each agency is
Each
taking.
agency, but also the numbers of altercations or something like that, so
Okay.
we know what the problems are, where the problems lie, and then look at the possible alternative solutions.
Okay.
Thank
We'll
you.
put that down as a future
Thank you
agenda
very
item.
much.
Sure.
Mayor Goodman?
Madam Chairman, I'd like to follow up on that too. Understanding the personnel that would be involved to have security, ridership, I mean, it's unbelievably costly and probably not the most efficient way. Have you already investigated the use of technology on every vehicle? Is that already in place so that the driver has, for lack of a better word, a button or a procedure to follow when something's happening? And do they have a phone? What is, I mean, I think it would be in a
Yeah,
report.
why
You
don't we give
have
a
the
full
answer.
review?
And how technology is being used and
Okay.
integrated into the system so they feel safe and have a process through which to go to get help immediately.
Okay.
Thank you. Thank you,
Thank you.
Madam Chairman.
And for the record, I'll close the public hearing portion of the meeting. We need a motion to approve the budget. We have a motion on the floor. All those in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Then that passes.
All right. And your last agenda item is item number 63, which is to conduct your last citizens participation period.
Great. This is the time for the final citizen participation portion of the meeting, and we have a number of cards here. First is Larry Fosgate. If you want to.
Good morning, Madam Chairman and the Commission. I'm a retired resident since 1978. I've been trained in transportation and logistics all my life. And I would like to comment on a couple of things. One is our monorail. The monorail seems to have been well thought out and then not funded and not connected to anything meaningful. We're looking at building a stadium very soon. The stadium is going to need transportation for its participants. We have a T-Mobile already that has virtually no transportation. My recommendation is that with this stadium planning, that the plans include putting the monorail under the stadium and continuing it to the two terminals at McCarran, which will give us transportation to and from McCarran, not only for those transiting in and out of our city, but also for the locals. And also, at the same time, to take that little spur on Sahara and run it all the way up to the Regional Transportation Center on Ogden, which is currently not being used. But having a monorail from Fremont to McCarran would serve the entire valley as well as our 300 million visitors every year. That's the first item. I feel that our money would be much better spent than trying to put a light rail someplace where it probably won't fit and would just be another cog in a mechanism that's already a little convoluted. My second comment is that we have neighbors, Pahrump, Mesquite, and Laughlin, which do not have public transportation. And I believe the Regional Transportation Commission is now, it's time for them to seriously consider putting in regular service to all three of those locations. I understand that that would take more equipment, it would take more people, it would probably take a different pricing structure. But the people in those communities need access to Las Vegas for medical and transportation purposes, and the people in Las Vegas need some place that they can go just for a day or two to avail themselves of those communities. Also, on your, Madam Mayor, your comment on I-11. I-11 is integral to Nevada. Nevada needs it a lot more than Las Vegas does.
Thank you, Mr. Fosgate.
I'll bring it to a real quick halt.
Okay.
I-11 should connect Kingman with Boise, and by doing that, it will serve most of Nevada, some of Idaho, and some of Oregon. Please get that in as soon as possible. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Next is Shannon Hennessy and Aiden Hennessy, and if you could state your name and your address for the record. Thank you. His first public presentation.
I'm going to read off my phone.
Okay.
Hi, my name is Shannon Hennessy. I'm Dennis Hennessy's daughter-in-law and the mother of his 5 grandchildren. I'm here today because something needs to change. I want to start off by saying that what I'm about to say, I'm not trying to be fresh, and I'm not angry at any one of you. I'm angry at the situation. I'm standing here to give a face to the family members of our city drivers, to try and show you that they are not just a time card. They're not just anybody. They're somebody's family, and the lack of care for their safety is unacceptable. If the danger that they were in every day were to happen to any one of you sitting up here, it would not only be fixed immediately, the person would be in jail for years to come. Yet these men and women get threatened, guns and knives pulled on them, spit at, beat up, things thrown at them, and nothing is done about it. My father-in-law was assaulted 3 months ago, black eyes and nose, bleeding from his wounds. The man that did this not only is still walking the streets, probably has been on his bus again. Sorry. His assault was put in a file on an overworked detective's desk, and there it sits to this day. He wasn't allowed to put pictures up of his face because it might have discriminated the man that attacked him. This happens every day to our city bus drivers. My kids hear the news. They are scared daily that their grandfather, who will get assaulted again. They should not have to live in fear every day he goes to work that he might be beaten up again, almost shot again, that he might not be there to take them to the batting cages at their school functions because our city thinks less of the men and women who punch the time clock than the men and women who punch yours. Please don't take this long to change the safety of our drivers as you did the cleanliness of our buses.
Thank you, Shannon.
Hi, I'm Aiden Hennessy, and
You can pull that down.
can you please protect my grandpa? Because he got punched on the bus, and he needs to be safe.
Thank you.
Thank you very much. Appreciate that. Our next speakers, Madison Hennessy, Kaylee, and Carly Hennessy.
My name is Madison Hennessy.
Would you state your name and address for the record?
I'm Kaylee Hennessy.
Or state and name. Okay.
And I'm the oldest of 5 from my grandpa, Dennis Hennessy, up there. I just want to start saying that my grandpa means the world to me. And if anything happens to him, I'm really I get so sad. To the point where I will go into this deep depression where I won't talk for a really long time. And when I heard that he got hurt on the bus, it broke me into millions of pieces that I'm still trying to recover, obviously. All I'm trying to say is that I want him to be safe because he's trying to do the best for this city, and the city doesn't repay him respectfully. And I really hope that after this meeting that can change.
Thank you.
Hi, I'm Carly Hennessy, and my grandpa, he works on the bus, and when I heard he got punched, it just made me really sad. We couldn't tell our brother that he got punched because we didn't want him to feel bad. And if anything worse happens to him, it'll just ruin our whole world. And I just want him to be safe, and when he's trying to do his job and someone just hurts him, I just don't want that to happen anymore. Hi, I'm Kaylee Hennessy, and my grandpa Dennis Hennessy is up there. Like she said, we had to lie to my brother that he fell down the stairs and hurt himself, and we couldn't tell him the truth. And we all love him, and we need him to be protected, and we can't stop what happens on the bus, but somebody can. Only if someone will stand up and say that he needs to be protected, and nobody will do it.
Thank you for sharing. We want your grandfather to be safe as well, and we want all of our drivers to be safe as well. And Ms. Quigley, we have cameras on the buses, right? Yeah. So we'll prepare a report for a future meeting to talk
we will.
about safety. Thank you. Next, Jason Hennessy.
My name is Jason Hennessy. I live in Las Vegas. I'm just going to kind of piggyback on that same theme. You know, myself personally working in the private sector where my job has been safety of tourists, locals, people that work down on the strip. I just want to realize, I want to get that message across. And I'm not that anybody doesn't take it seriously, the safety of the people that work in this city. But what I have found is that it's a collaborative effort. It has to be, you have to reach out. It's not just the RTC, but it's the private company that runs that. And there needs to be communication between the two and a total effort to make sure that the employees are safe. Sometimes the focus is all on the tourists that come to this town, but we have to make it safe for the people that work here and live here. Otherwise, the people that come here are gonna stop coming. So I just want to get that message across. Please, please take it very seriously.
Thank you. Thank you. And Dennis Hennessy.
Thank you, Commissioners. It's real, guys. It's real. What we're going through every day is real. I came up last month and told you think I was passionate about cleanliness levels on the buses. I'm more passionate about our safety. Last month I told you don't wait. 36 hours later we had a shooting. If you wait this month and you wait and wait, it's not in a budget for something, somebody may die. I don't want to be punched anymore. And it's not just once in 6 years, it's been 5 times. So I want to issue some challenges out today. I want to issue challenges out to both companies, to MV and to Keolis. Let's take this serious. Let's make a commitment versus compliance. Let's make our safety meetings something more than just retro things, talking about stuff so that you're in compliance. How about maybe bringing in guest speakers to talk to drivers for an hour about verbal judo, how to get out of situations, actual judo to defend themselves, instead of, oh, let's look at the drive cam or let's look at whatever. The second challenge to both these companies, how about putting pictures up? How about putting pictures up so that every driver in our system, 800 of us, can see who assaulted another driver somewhere else? Not that we're going to become the police on the bus, but that teach us then to make a phone call to get the security agency or to get Metro there, to get the guy off the bus. No, instead what we hear from our safety departments is it's against the law to post their pictures. Well, hell, they just punched and assaulted a driver or spit on a driver. That's against the law. But you know what? The guy who had lice, both companies had his picture up in the lobby for the drivers to see for a year. For a year. So every driver knew who it was. You know why? Because that bus had to come out of service and be cleaned. It cost you money. It cost you money. The next challenge I'd like to issue is to you people here on the staff. You had your staff members come up to me last month and show me the statutes read. It's not 6 months. It's not a misdemeanor. It's a felony. Well, we need your help. Your help in getting Metro, in getting the DA, in getting things to happen. We need your help. We need you to be involved in conversations with Keolis, with MV. We need driver safety to be an issue. We need you all to know that how many incidents there were this month, how many drivers were assaulted, how many were spit on. Then we need your help. We need transit police, guys. I love these Allied Barton guys to death. Both of these two guys standing here, as I noticed there's 2 of them here for your meeting. I'll finish up on this. There's 2 of them here for your meeting. It's rare that I get 1 on the bus in a 10-hour shift. They're out there, but there's not enough of them. And you know what this community now realizes? They have no authority. They can't write a ticket. They can't do it. They can't even force somebody off the bus. And the regulars in this community know that. So until there's a detriment and there's a penalty, there's going to be no changes. None.
Thank you, Mr. Hennessy.
Okay.
Appreciate it.
I would not want to sit in your shoes, Mrs. Tarkanian, Mrs. Goodman, the rest of you, if they have to come up here again some other month and ask you why. Because that won't be a pleasant conversation, and they won't be here alone asking why. You guys are now aware how serious this is. 2 shooting incidents this week.
Thank you very much. Ms. Quigley, you'll do a safety report for us at a coming meeting?
Yep. At a
Thank
future
you.
meeting, we'll talk about our existing
Okay.
security efforts, what's underway.
Yes.
If Mr. Brown was here, I'd challenge him to lean down and make those incidences part of every month's general manager notes that are read to you. That would be a good idea, then maybe everybody will know what it is.
Thank you. Okay. This is the conclusion of the RTC meeting. Is there anything else, Ms. Quigley? Or, oh, I'm sorry, there's. Oh, okay. I don't have an extra card. Okay. Go ahead.
Good morning, Commissioners. Jose Mendoza Jr. I am the President Business Agent for Local 1637 ATU. We do concur with Brother Hennessy in regards to the safety concerns that he is raising and his family. There are assaults out there and what have you, and we really hope that the commissioners start looking into this. But that being said, let's go back to February of 2013 when the commissioners went ahead and decided to split the yards from one company to 2. We have Keolis, we have MV. With Keolis, well, we ratified a contract with them. With MV, well, we had an interest arbitration with them. The problem now, which my understanding is MV is coming up for an extension next year. The sad part is that we agreed that whatever the arbitrator ruled on the wages and anything that was TA'd during the negotiations would be agreed upon, and they would acknowledge it. Now, apparently, MV, for whatever reason, they are taking positions that, no, that is not what we agreed. The sad part is these people here in Las Vegas at MV, they were not part of the negotiating team. And that is a shame, because now we have like 30, 40 grievances that are on waiting because they're saying that, well, that's not what we agreed upon. Sure, Keolis tries to be a little bit sneaky and try to sneak something in there, but we catch them and then in the end they say, okay, we're sorry about that. But MV is totally different. And like I send an email to MJ, we don't want to start bringing drivers in here and, causing, protests and what have you. We hope you, the commissioners, can instruct the staff to tell MV to wake up. There is an agreement, and we know what we agreed upon. And if the people here in Las Vegas that are running MV are not going to honor what we as ATU agreed upon, they need to bring the negotiators and deal with us. Because if not, you're going to start seeing drivers here. They implement policies that we did not even agree. They don't care. They don't care what the ATU says. They cut deals with a couple of employees, fire them, bring them back. That is wrong. We filed 7 ULPs against MV already. So hopefully, commissioners, we ask you, we don't want to start bringing drivers in here to protest. We hope you instruct the staff of the RTC to tell MV to wake up. We got negotiations probably in less than a year with Keolis, and I'm hoping we won't have no problems there. But MV is a problem right now. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Mendoza. Yes.
Good morning, Commissioners. My name is Mickey. I'm the Vice President of ATU. I don't come up here unless I have something to talk about and have some issues that drivers have brought to me. I have 2 incident reports from drivers that have gone to the Safety and Training Director, Cecil Fielder. The first report is from a driver who noticed a new employee being trained that she had been in an issue with as a passenger. She's a homeless lady, college educated, but nevertheless homeless. She walks through the yard talking to herself. So we have the slogan, see something, say something. It's on all the billboards and everything. She thought she would, do the right thing, go back. It's supposed to be confidential. Let him know what's going on. He tells her he'll check into it. Pretty much just blew her off. So then a couple of days later, I get another incident report where this particular homeless woman who sleeps in the driver's lounge gets into it in the bathroom with the driver who bothers nobody, who's to herself, It's been there for years. Well, this driver goes and, tries to tell Cecil about it. And he says, well, are you sure you're not just, going off of what other people have said? And she's like, really? So she writes the incident report and she gives it to myself. So, everybody knows about this woman at the yard. It took an incident to happen just Saturday for them to decide to do something with her. Apparently, she got into it with the passenger on the bus with her shopping cart, and police were called and everything. So, from my understanding, this particular woman, driver, ex-passenger, is in the process of being turned. So, we go to them and give them the chance. Me and Mr. Fielder had a conversation last time that if there was something that he needed to know, come talk to him, give him a chance to fix it. Well, I had 2 drivers that did, and they felt like they were blown away with the first lady hearing her name back as going and, talking to him, and she's like, I'll never say anything else again. So now when you have drivers that feel like I can't go in confidence back there to them like it's supposed to be, I won't open my mouth and I won't say anything else. Drivers come and talk to us about a lot of things, but if you don't write a report for me, then it's pretty much just hearsay. So they wrote reports for me. I don't know if they know that these reports, I have them, but something needs to be done. Like I've told them before, if it has a heartbeat and a pulse, they're hiring it to drive a bus. That's not cool. That's not good at all for anybody. If you can get a CDL and you're walking and breathing, they're hiring you, come on. There's got to be something better to go on. That's it for today.
Thank you for your
So I
comments.
thought I would just bring that to your attention. It needs to be looked into.
Thank you. We will.
Thank you.
Is there anyone else wishing to speak? Please come forward. Yeah.
Madam Chair, thank you. My name is Aleta Dupree. I've been up here before. I live in Las Vegas in Rancho Sahara, a disabled Desert Storm veteran. Just a few quick remarks. Let's be focused on summer. Let's make sure that we keep these buses running. I was on a bus recently and it was overheating on a hill. I will definitely credit the driver for their professionalism. I am very grateful for that. But when you're taking one of these heavy double-deckers up a hill and it was like 94 degrees, it's very disconcerting to all of us when the bus is shutting down en route in a remote residential area. So let's make sure that we focus on keeping these buses running, make sure everybody does their pre-trip inspections, make sure that everybody is on point with keeping this equipment going. I'm looking forward to the rollout of the new technology with the mobile ticketing. I read, to my surprise, that in London there's no cash on buses. It's gone. I had no idea. Maybe one reason that there's safety issues on buses is because all of these buses have money on board. It's called a fare box. There's probably hundreds of dollars in every one of these fare boxes and vending machines. What if we could push all of that out, push all that cash back? Let's think about that. Let's make sure as we go forward the technology that we are forward and backward compatible. Because I have not only my phone, but I have here 3 transit cards. And they make a nice collection and they work. But if I travel, imagine if I have 20 of them someday. So I'm looking forward to being able to have 20 transit apps on my phone and not having to use cash to ride. I have not done a cash transaction since March 28th. I carry virtually no money with me. My debit card comes in handy. So we can show the world how to do it, how to do it better. I speak to you as an actual fare-paying passenger with appropriate fare. So yes, I ride the bus often. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Is there anyone else wishing to speak at this time? Seeing no one, we'll go ahead and close the public comment period, and that concludes the meeting of the Regional Transportation Commission. Or Tina, did you have anything you want to say?